Good afternoon, guys. Hello, everyone. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. There's a very nice close-up of Matthew's face there, actually. Just sitting how close you are to the camera, pal. It's been a little while since we had a chat. Just wanted to get together and have a little conversation, a few conversations, actually. One we've been talking a lot about is the run-up to Christmas. The other came up recently, which was talk about cladding, actually. Obviously, it's been in the news quite a lot recently, so we'll touch on that. And then also just finish with a bit of a market update, just let you know how things are going so far in November, as we're almost just over a third of the way through, aren't we? So, so how are you guys? Matt, Howard, good?
Decent, thank you, yeah.
Not doing too bad. Not doing too bad, Kevin. It's a long time no see. We're just saying the three of us together with people chomping at the bit, waiting for us, missing the three.
That's it. They want to see your lovely faces. Maybe, not sure. Anyway, well, we could digress about that, but we won't. So let's have a little start, guys. We were talking, weren't we, recently, a lot about Christmas, as I'm sure a lot of us do. This world is very heavily influenced by Christmas, and so is anyone looking to sort of sell or rent their homes. I think we were talking that a lot of people probably don't want to be bothered around that Christmas time period because it's fun, it's enjoyable, with your family, isn't it? You don't want us coming round, you don't want people viewing houses, all that sort of thing. So we were sort of talking about what could be done to sort of get people moving in the right direction because they want to sell, but then actually not have to be bothered too much during the Christmas period, weren't we? So we're discussing that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea, yeah. Because we were saying, because we've not had Christmas, well, we didn't have a Christmas last year, not really. We might have done at home, but not so much. You go out, enjoy yourself, kind of let your hair down if you've got it. But you know what I mean. So I think so. Yeah, I think people might. But we can see already, can't we? It's starting to quieten off, and people are kind of putting the concentration on other things and family matters and so forth. But yeah, I know you want to touch on it, Kevin, about potentially what we can do or what can we do to help you guys out there if you're thinking of putting a house on the market, to get yourself preparation for it, whether it be now or in the new year or even further on down the line. I think it's a good idea, Kevin, but I won't steal your thunder.
Yeah, no problem. I think it was actually me that was going to talk about it, but I can be Kevin for the next 5 minutes. I think, let's face it, like Howard's rightly said, after last year now, you've got all the shops that are open, there's no restrictions, you can go out for a pint, you can go out for a meal Christmas Day. People are, and rightly so in one aspect, let's be bloody happy for once. It's a real kind of, let's enjoy the festivities. You can go and do obviously if you've seen ice skating or whatever, or go Christmas markets, have some fun. But rightly so, if you are thinking, right, new home, new year, new year, new home sort of thing, then simple fact is, get us in before you get the Christmas decorations up. That's what I would say. Get all your photos done, get all your prep done, and in that way, as soon as you ring us after New Year, you can go, right, Lancastrian or whoever agent, please flick the switch, I'm ready to rock and roll. Brilliant, bang, there you go. And you imagine the massive influx of buyers that are wanting to get shifted and moved, kind of springtime. If your property's on there first and foremost before any other kind of other properties competition, yours is going to sell faster, it's going to sell for the better price, and then you've got the pick of the properties coming from the crop that are coming on the market with everybody else.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. I was talking to Kevin the other day as well about other people as well who might not be in that kind of circumstance. A lot of people, we were just mentioning off then, they're a bit nervous, cautious about putting the house on the market, and we still get calls now. And I'm showing someone on a house tomorrow in Fulwood that he's desperate to come and have a look at it, but he hasn't got his house on the market, not his value, blah, blah, he's got a rough idea what it's worth, blah, blah, blah. So if he likes that tomorrow, bearing in mind the number of viewings I've got tomorrow, he'll probably miss out on it, or it won't be up there. So again, we were talking about, let's just say you're thinking about putting your house on the market. We come out, you're happy with what we're saying, you, Matt, myself, Simon, whoever comes out to the property. What's to stop us getting everything in place, taking your photographs, getting a brochure, the details typed up, and you're happy with it as well, so we're not rushing down to do it up. You've got your energy performance certificate in place, all the paperwork's in place, we've got your identification, so on and so on. It's not legally tied to anything, but the only thing that you're missing then is a board outside and put live on the internet. So if you do go and have a look at this house tomorrow and you walk out of there, you can ring us up and say, I've just seen the house, I like it. Can you put my house on the market now? There's nothing to stop that happening, which then gives you a better opportunity of achieving that house if your house isn't on the market. Obviously, in the ideal world, you want your house on the market, but that's another way that we can help you. It's a way that we can also speak to people who may be interested in your house without necessarily giving them your full address. Well, we've potentially got people lined up to come and have a look at yours as well. And again, that can still happen now and come in the new year. So we take the photographs now, we're talking to people in the new year when you're ready, and you pick up the phone, speak to Matthew, myself, Kevin, put our house on the market. We may very well have been talking to people that might come around and have a look at your house and put you in a fantastic position and ultimately get you a better price.
Yeah, I think that's my point, actually. You know, we're talking about, nobody really wants to be too bothered in December, and certainly, that last little bit of run up towards Christmas and the New Year, you don't want to be having people coming around your house, do you? So, the other thing that I was aware with that is the fact that virtual tours, for instance, if there's somebody that, you might not want us to put it on sale on the market and add that sales, another agent on the market, but if you've got a virtual tour in place, is that they could be showing people around virtually softly. And I was like, actually, this one isn't on the market yet, it's going to come on at some point in the new year, potentially. Then, you try to have a quick sort of nosy around it, see what you think we do virtually. And
Yeah.
someone like you say, in a position when it does come, or when you're ready to go because you found somewhere, actually, we've already been speaking to these people who want to go for it.
I'm right in saying, Kevin, that we can actually, through our virtual tour systems that we do, show people a potential property without them knowing the address and without giving them the details to it. They can share a screen with us. Is that correct? We can do that, can't they?
Yeah.
So how safe is that? If your house is on the market out there, we're not giving any details away from your house. We're not giving your house number, the address. We're just showing people the internal size of it, a rough idea where it is, and gives you I think it's a brilliant way to market property safely, kind of quietly sort of market your property, should I say, safely, without anyone knowing any of your details, but it might just help you get a buyer when you're ready to flip the switch to put it on the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, felt a good idea.
Importantly, as you say, Howard, if you see somewhere you really like, because you've thought about moving, so you've been looking,
Yeah.
somewhere you really like and you've got to sell your house, if you start in the process as you've seen something, you've got that 4, 5, 10 days worth of wait while everything gets ready. Whereas if everything is already ready, you just phone the agent up and go, right, I've seen somewhere, can you
Yeah, spot on, yeah.
can you go, all right then, and within 30 seconds it's there, it's done.
Yeah, and if you've got those viewers lined up, Kev, we can just ring the viewers up straight away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I say something to just think about that. I think it's a good way of potentially doing it. Get an agent instructed on photos before those decks go up, and before you get into Christmas.
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer because fundamentally, you're actually not losing anything. I mean, if you're thinking of selling anyway, the only thing you'd probably have to dig in your pockets for is an energy performance certificate, which you'll need anyway on the last 10 years. So to me, it's a win-win situation for you guys out there if you're thinking of moving in the next period of time. So without a shadow of a doubt. Good point, guys.
Good point. Yeah. So brilliant. Cheers, for that, guys. So the one thing I just want to mention, it actually came up in the autumn budget, and it also actually came up in one of our sales meetings the other morning. And this is about cladding. And obviously, cladding's been quite a big thing on people's minds because of Grenfell, quite rightly, because that was horrendous to have happened. And the government announced that they're going to set some money aside for remediation of cladding. But one thing that we did come across is if you've got a block of flats, and this is in Lancaster in a block that doesn't actually have any cladding on, to sell the property you will now need a cladding report to show that it's safe. And so that we hadn't come across. Kerry and
I know. No.
She was sort of telling us all about it. That so there's a building in Lancaster with no cladding on that they've asked to report about cladding.
That sounds absolutely stupid. Just sounds like a money-making exercise for particular people. My opinion only, of course.
Yeah, it probably is. It wouldn't surprise me, but if it's going to be there, so if you're out there and you've got you live in a flat in a block that's, even though there's no cladding on the outside, if you do come to sell it,
Oh, they're going to get changed.
a normal November month, whereas sales are actually about 40%,
Yeah.
50%. So, you know, of a normal November, so they're actually well ahead of what the property current market. So that shows that there is still some stock that's been hanging around that is selling. So if you've been in the market a little while, you know, don't be disheartened. There is people out there that are looking to buy your house. You know, but it's still such sales driven, and we're using coined the phrase, weren't we? Chicken and egg, as to what comes first at the moment. People not wanting to put on the house because they can't find anywhere. People on the market not, you know, it's not being able to find anywhere else or not to buy. So it's a bit of a strange one at the moment, but.
Yeah, I find the people who are putting houses on the market are motivated to move for a particular time scale. That's the difference. Whereas other people are kind of like sussing it out, really, if you will. But I think people I speak to want to go on the market. Let's get it on now. And when I say now, I think let's get it on now. The next 2 or 3 days, that's what they're wanting. Whereas other people, I think they're just tentatively, using a word, is you know, looking that way. I mentioned to you before. I just want to mention quickly because I did a social media kind of message earlier on in the week about interest rates, where obviously we're looking at they threaten all the time, don't they? The interest rate's going to go up, but early on this month, the banks have already voted that they're going to increase the interest rates from the historic 0.1%, with inflation of 3.1%, and they're looking at the first 6 months next year. The bank rates for your mortgage is up to like 5%. So, what, you know, is that going to have an impact on purchases? People selling more houses coming to the market because they can't afford the mortgage, is for example, and you know, maybe not initially, because one of the information that I read on is, well, that 80% of people, so 8 out of 10 people, to work it easier, is I've got on a fixed rate mortgage, but that's only for a period of time where, you know, that might be 6 months, a year, 2 years time, they're going to be changing as well. So that will have undoubtedly an impact on the housing market for good and bad, I dare say.
Well, if that is the case, and I've read that a little while ago from a different source as well, how so, you know, it's definitely going to happen at some point. So that is even more so where, you know, if you want to sell, you've got more chance of selling now than you probably.
You will have, yeah, maybe another 6 months time.
Maybe 6 months time, because the finance is better. You know, so where if mortgage rates are, I mean, you can get fixed rates for like well under 2% anyway. So if you fix rate 3% more, you're going to have buyers not as readily available then, aren't you? So.
Another point, if anyone's out there listening and they want some information, even if they're not looking at moving houses, they want information on their own mortgage, whether they want looking at possibly doing a fixed mortgage and what interest rates are out there in a minute, send us a message and we'll put you in contact with the right people who can help you and give you some advice.
Yeah. So. No, good point there, Howard. Yeah, we've got people that we can give you the right financial advice.
Because people might want to just maybe switch to a better rate mortgage what they can at the minute, even if they have to pay maybe a small charge, but they're getting a lower fixed interest rate for 3-5 years if they're going to fix it. So yeah, just another alternative rather than moving. That's another opportunity you guys can look at. So
cool.
apart from that, that's as much of the information I've got.
That's good info, that, mate. It's really you know, good advice that, you know, speak to a financial advisor now, even if you're not selling, you know, and you know, review your finances to make sure that you're not going to come out of a deal a month or two too late and get a
because I mean, if you want that bit and it shoots up, you know, yours could be shooting up 4% easily, you know, and it's like it's a difference on your monthly outgoings. And a lot of people, they budget maybe too tight with houses. You know, I can afford a house that amount, and rather than living a life, they have the house, and then if anything goes up, then they don't have either. So you know, just to take a look at your stuff.
Well, so just to summarise, Christmas is coming. We know people don't want to be bothered, so you know it's a great time now to get your pictures done, even if you're not going to come to the market yet.
Yeah.
You know, so you're ready to go should you need it. If you live in an apartment, a flat in a block, you know, speak to management company if you think of selling, because they're probably going to have to produce a report for cladding, even if the property has not got cladding on it. And obviously, you know, interest rates potentially, and not potentially, they are going to go up at some point. So, you know, check your financing, you know, speak to a financial advisor.
Yeah.
If you were thinking of moving, but you're going to wait till springtime, it might go up in springtime. In which case, you know, your buyers going to be less because the rates have gone up. So it's going to be tighter. So it just proves.
And they'll be able to afford less as well. So therefore, you won't necessarily get the best price.
Yeah.
What you could do now. So.
Yeah, true. So these next few months are really quite important for selling.
Yeah, I dare say. Yeah.
Which is great. But yeah, and then the market summary is, you know, instructions are still below 2019 levels. We've known that for quite a while. It's been that for several months, and you know, yet sales are still keeping really high levels despite those coming numbers not to the market. So yeah, that's quite a good summary there, guys. I think we've covered most things there. It's a good chat, as always.
Good chat, chaps.
We are here to help. We're here to answer any questions that you may have, and you know, if we can be of any help, you know, give us a call. We're always on hand, via Facebook and YouTube as well. So if you want to drop us a message by those, we will get to everyone's questions. But on that note, we'll see you again in 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll be in the Christmas period, the full throes of it probably.
Might even make a Christmas jumper appearance by then.
There you go. That'll be a treat for everybody that comes on. Christmas jumper.
Yeah. On your own.
Right, okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay. All the best.
And we will catch you later. Bye now.
To that, guys.